Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. In this video, we're going to have a lot of fun with ink blending and layering stencils. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things in this video, and I'm super excited to show you my idea today. So we're going to take these layered stencils. If you haven't played around with layered stencils, they are so fun and really addicting. In fact, I've been slowly growing my collection of layered stencils behind the scenes because after I started my first one, they are so fun to do and it's so neat, and you can just create and create and create with them. And just by changing up the ink colors that you use, you can create so many different looks. So we're going to start with this part of the layered stencil, and then once we're done with that, we'll layer this part to make a whole really fun background. So think of it as creating your own pattern paper. It's so neat. So I hope you enjoyed this part. So we're also going to be using this die set. I purchased this and I will link it down below, as well as all of the stuff I'm using, but this is such a universal die set. I love it so much, and I honestly think that it's very worth it to have something like this in your collection because it is universal and you can use it for a variety of different things, and this is super, super cute. So what my idea for today was, I have been thinking, and it's really been on my heart lately, to think about how we can stretch our craft supplies a little bit more. As I have been tiptoeing back into paper crafts and card making, I have been reminded at how expensive it can be. So I thought it would be fun to take one stencil and then one die collection, and then we're going to create 3 different cards just using these supplies. So I thought this would be really, really fun because sometimes I feel like we invest in all of the materials, and then sometimes we only get 1 or 2 cards out of it, and then that's kind of a lot of money, right? So I thought it would be fun to really focus on just 2 craft supplies and creating a variety of cards with them. Now, I am only going to be doing 3 ideas today, but of course you could do so much more. But I also just wanted to plant that inspiration in your heart with how you can take just a couple supplies and any supplies that you have on hand, but then run in different directions with them so that you can make your craft supplies stretch a little further. I hope you enjoy this. This is going to be so fun. If anything, it's going to be really relaxing because ink blending is just super fun. It's nice and calm and just really, really relaxing to do. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you're excited to see how we can just take 1 stencil set and 1 die set and make 3 really fun cards. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be using this stencil set. It is so neat. You layer them one on top of the other and line them up, and it's so fun. So I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do this in just a minute. Again, we have this really fun die set, and as a reminder, everything will be linked down in the description box below for you in case you're inspired with any of these items and want to add them to your craft room as well. I am going to start off with this stencil mat. Now, I want to talk about this for a second. When I first started back into card making, I went and added a bunch of things to my cart, and I added this little silicone stencil mat. I will link it down below. I have to say, when I got it, it sat in my craft room for a couple months, and I kind of was, I was kind of regretting that I just went and bought a bunch of stuff because I thought, do you really need that? I brought this out the other day, and oh my goodness, everyone needs one of these. This is amazing. So it's so nice. It's grippy, so it just sits on my glass mat so nice. And we're going to be using this for our stencils and lining up our stencils. Also, you can ink blend on it. It is so, so nice. So initially, I kind of thought I was a little rushed in buying this, but then the other day when I brought it out to use it, absolutely worth it. I highly, highly recommend it, and I can see myself using this over and over and over again. I'm really grateful that I have it. I also have a piece of 80-pound cardstock, and I trimmed this down to, I believe, 6 inches by 6 inches, actually 7 by 7 after I look at my craft mat. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just place it up in this corner so it lines up just nice, and then it grips really nice onto that silicone mat. I'm going to be using 3 different colors. I'm going to use wild rose, carrot, and sunflower. Oh, I need to pull a green as well. I will also use celery stick. And for all 3 cards, I'm going to be using this exact same combo, but I'm going to show you 3 very different ways that you can really run in different directions with this card. and stencil set idea. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my first color, which will be celery stick. I did buy this little silicone mat to hold my ink cubes, and I really like it. It just helps the ink cubes from slipping, and it's super nice. Okay, so I have my celery stick there, and I'm also going to be bringing in my ink blending brushes. How exciting that I'm using more and more of these now. I was showing my hubby the other day, look how many have actual color on them now, because for a while I only had a couple that were being used. But I'm gonna go ahead and we'll use green, obviously, and yellow, orange, and we'll use this pink for the wild rose, or red. Okay, so I'm gonna start with green, so I'll set these up and off to the side. And what I'm gonna do is grab my stencil set. So I'm gonna grab the first set here. Now I wanna make sure I remember how they line up. But we're just going to take the first set and we're gonna lay that down on our paper here. And then what I like to do is I like to bring in some tape, and I'm just going to use some of this pink tape, and I'm just simply going to place some right on the side just so that it doesn't slide around my paper, just to give it a little bit of extra. Now the paper is good and tight on that silicone mat, but I just like, the stencils can be a little slippery, so I just like to make sure that just put a piece of tape, don't worry about it, right? Okay, so make sure that the stencil is nice and clean. Looks like it had a little something on there. Okay, so I have this all snug up in the corner right there. You can see that this mat has a built-in lip on the side. That way you can just snug it up in there and it's all good. I'm gonna go ahead and take my ink, and with the blending brush, I'm just going to tap a little off, and I'm simply going to start blending my ink and placing it on my paper here. And you'll want to make sure that your stencils are nice and clean. So if you've used them before, make sure you clean them really, really good. And you can be, you know, as heavy-handed or light-handed as you want. That way you get the desired vibrancy that you want, if you will. I like to start out a little bit lighter, and I can always add more ink to get, you know, bump it up in color if I'd like, but it's easier to start out lighter and add than to start out heavy-handed and then kind of wish you would have been a little bit more soft. So I'm just going to blend, blend, blend. Now I will further trim this down. I'm going to make an A2 size card, and obviously this stencil is much larger and it's square. So I'm not going to worry too much about the edges, because I know that in the end they're going to be trimmed down and we won't see them anyway in our final project. And then I like to tap off my ink over here just so that I don't have a really, really like blotchy first blend, if that makes sense. But then I end up kind of coming back in and grabbing a little bit more. That way I don't waste it. Okay, it's looking good. This stencil set actually came as a freebie in one of my recent orders, and it was so neat that I just love being inspired with it. Okay, but I'll link it down below because they, you can still buy this, obviously. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape, and right now, you know, if you pull this up and you decide you want more, then you can obviously add. Oh, that looks so neat though. I actually really like that as is. If you wanted to bump it up a little bit more, you can just simply place that stencil down, because it's all aligned up in that corner and you can keep adding. So it makes it really, really user-friendly. And that's one of the main perks of this craft mat. Okay, so then taking my next stencil, I will lay it right over, just like that. And then taking my tape, I can just secure that down in a couple spots as well. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, and then putting my green away, because I am all done with that. Now I'm gonna start with the wild rose. This is really a pretty color. And again, you can choose very different colors. and create very different looks. So go ahead and just choose whatever you would like. I'm gonna tap some of that off, and I am gonna go with this middle. Now this one goes on really, really bold really quickly. So you'll want to even just note that and maybe approach it with an even lighter hand initially until you get that desired look. And then always add more if you'd like. But I love that. I think that's super, super pretty. Maybe add just a little bit more. I do like the softer tones, so I usually tend to do a little bit of a lighter hand, but you can always just do anything that you would like. Okay, and then I'm going to, let's see, what's the next one I want to do? I think I'm going to do this, the pink as well. It's such a pretty rose color. What was this called? Was it Wild Rose? Would I say? Yeah, Wild Rose. That's super pretty. And, ooh, so nice. Okay. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I really want to get those detail blending brushes from Waffle Flower. I've had my eye on them for a while, but I'm making myself, like prove that I need craft supplies, right? I'm trying to just slow down and wait until I find that I really, really need something just to kind of rein it in a little bit, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna do those 3 red or pink, and then I'm gonna bring in Carrot, and there's something on there. There we go. Okay, ooh, don't get on there. Okay, and then I'm going to, let's see, I'm trying to think which ones I want to do Carrot. I'm gonna start down at the bottom, and this goes on really, really bright and vibrant too. I feel like the green, the celery stick, needs a little bit of like a little more of a heavy hand, but this Carrot and this Wild Rose go on pretty bold initially. Okay, pretty, pretty, pretty. And then I'm going to do this Carrot as well. Okay, and again, not overly stressing about, oops, I should have tapped that off a little bit. I got a little bit bold, but that's okay. Not worrying too much about the outer edges because I'm going to trim this down. And I know that going into it, so I don't worry too much. Okay, done. And then finally we have Sunflower. This is a really pretty yellow. And loving this mat over here. Really holds that down nice. And then the final ones, I will just put the yellow Sunflower on. Ooh, love it. That's pretty. Obviously, I went with more of the warmer side of the rainbow for this. But you could definitely do anything that you would like. Okay, and finishing up. Okay, now the best part is taking that stencil off and seeing the final look. Okay. Ooh, how pretty. How pretty. I'm trying to make sure I don't get any ink on my fingers. Look. That is so fun. And again, you can make this look so different just based on the colors you choose. I also want to get some of that texture paste too and play around with that. I don't have any right now, so we're not going to do that in this video, but that would be another way you could really, you know, make a really fun look with this. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to the side. Really quickly, just wipe off my mat. And it's brand new again. Oh, I love this, and I'm so glad too. Okay, and now another thing I want to mention is that, oh, look at that. It's just like butter. Okay, I'm gonna set that to the side. But another thing I want to mention is clean your stencils Clean, clean, clean them. So I'm just gonna wipe those off. Make sure they're nice and clean, both on the front and also on the back, because ink does kind of, you know, drag under a little bit. Especially, and even when you're washing, you can kind of get some ink on the back. So you want to make sure those are nice and clean, so the next time you go to use them, you don't accidentally get smudged ink on your project. So that would just start off a project on a inky note, right? Okay, so these are all nice and clean, air dry, and they are ready to go for the next time. Okay, let's go ahead and trim our little panel down and start building our first card. Okay, bringing in my little Waffle Flower A2 die set, I think I'm just gonna go one layer in, if that makes sense. I think that'll be pretty. Let's see. Try to think which way I want to go. And, you know, based on where you put this, you could have a very different look, right? So I'm thinking... I like that. The other way was kind of a lot of pink, which I love pink, but I like to have a little bit more of those oranges and yellows in as well. So I think I will do this. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of tape. In fact, I think I have some left over from my stencil part. And then I'm going to send this through my Spellbinders, but I need to trim this down just a little bit so it fits through. Now go ahead and, you know, use the cutoff area if you'd like. I don't really have a need for it right now, but you can definitely use it for something if you wish. Okay, let me send this through and then we'll start building up this card. Okay, so that has been trimmed down. That looks so nice. Now I'm going to take my card base. I have cut that out of 110-pound cardstock, and I'll link the cardstock that I've used for my panel and my base down below. Bring out my Score Pal. I am going to, or Score Buddy, Score Pal, Score Friend, and I am going to score this at 4 1/4 so that we can do an A2 size card. And the A2 size card dimensions at its final size will be 5.5 by 4 1/4. So there we go. That looks really nice. Okay, so here is our card and our panel. I'm going to use some foam tape and bump this up, and then we're going to have fun with the die collection that I purchased and make just a really fun look on top. So in essence, so far we have created our patterned paper, our own personal pattern paper, which is so fun. I just purchased a, I'll have to put it in a video soon, but I just purchased a hot foil and layered stencil set. So you can hot foil and do like, oh, I can't, maybe I shouldn't even tease about that because doesn't it sound just glorious? I'm so excited. It actually just came 2 nights ago in the mail. So I am going to play around with that and then you'll see that soon. Okay, bringing that foam tape up and off. Okay, here we go. And then I'll place it right on my panel here. So pretty. Okay. Okay, so far we have our card with our panel on it. Honestly, that looks gorgeous as is, but we're gonna still have some more fun with it. Now I'm going to bring in my dies, and what I'll do is I am going to use thank. So obviously you could do thank you, celebrate you, miss you, for you, and we'll play around with another couple sentiments in this video, but for the first card we'll do thank, and I have this really pretty kind of rose pink that I thought would be nice for this first card, and I'm going to trim this, well actually I'm going to cut this out 3 times on this pink, and then we'll build it up. Okay, so we have 3 in that pink, and then what I will do is I am going to grab some white cardstock, and I will do 3 layers of the U. Always, always, always keep your scraps, because I cannot stress enough how many times I use scraps only just for sentiments. It's just, that's the best advice ever. Keep anything and everything that you can. Yes, it may sound like hoarding, but it's actually just responsible crafting, right? It's another way to keep it affordable. Okay, so now I have all of my pieces cut out and I can start stacking and assembling. So I'm going to do, again, 3 layers of everything, just so we can really build these up on the card. And I think it'll look super, super fun and nice. So 3, there we go. And we'll just start gluing. So I'm going to use this Barely Art glue. I really like the precision tip on it. And honestly, I've just liked it in general. I think it's super, super nice glue. I have no complaints, but makes these die cuts, these thin die cuts, and stacking them pretty quick and easy. I haven't really gotten into the adhesive sprays yet for glue. Let me know if you have. I probably will try. In fact, I found something at Dollar Tree, like a little Elmer's spray glue. I kind of want to try that and see how well that works. Ooh, that aligned up really nice. Okay, and then we'll do one more. But I'm trying just to kind of find what I prefer. Does that make sense? Okay. And I have to say, this little precision guy makes this part super easy. So far I am pretty happy with it. Okay. And then line up. Again, this little pink piece was also, I don't have a source for this pink paper. You know, actually, it might have been in one of my Spellbinders boxes. My little monthly box. So I think I might have just used it from a scrap piece from that. Okay, there's that. We're gonna let that set, and we'll do the bigger sentiment, which obviously is so much easier to stack. Well, not that the other one was hard, but this is so much quicker. Whoopsie. Proving myself wrong. Okay. And I believe this is just 80 pound. Again, I grabbed my little stash. And that looks good. Oops, put it down. The liquid glue allows you to really shift and line up. Okay, and then my O's and my U. Okay, finally the last layer, and I like how those look. Those just look so substantial and nice. Okay, covering up my glue, and then even though I built these up, I'm still going to, when I put them on my card, I'm going to add some more dimension with these foam squares. So what I was going to do was place them on my card like this to spell the U. And I'm going to start with the O. I like to start from the center and go out. That just helps me align things. So I'm going to put these little foam squares on the back just to further pop it up a little bit. I think that that is so nice. And it gives just a little bit of more shadowing and dimension, which is really fun. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. Ooh, look at that. I like it. Okay, and then I'll move on to the Y. Do the same thing. Let me know what's going on in your craft room right now. I am actually, well, I'm doing a lot of cards. You guys just saw recently my back to school video, so all the back to school stuff has been crafted and put away in backpacks and ready to go. If you missed that video, I'll link it for you. How's that look? And believe it or not, I am putting aside things for fall crafting already. I think it was, you know, it's August, but I think all of the back to school prep had me just ready for fall naturally, correct? So I think I'm just ready. And I am not one to wish time away. I love to enjoy the season I'm in, but I think this year, just summer went by super fast, and I'm naturally just kind of feeling like it's time for fall. I know some of you may not agree because weather changes, but fall is just my favorite. So I'm excited for it to get here. Okay, and then I'm going to put the U of the U here. And I like that. Very nice. Okay. Sweep these away. And then for the thank, I am going to do that here. Now you could do it centered, but I really liked it like this. I thought that was just really fun. So I am going to do liquid glue on the back, and I'm going to bring in some tweezers to just help me lay that down. So the tweezers are ready to go. Got all those little foam square strips there. Okay, and then now some of this will not make contact, and that's okay. It'll end up just drying. But I want to make sure I have enough points that something will line up, right? Okay, and then, woo, that just went. I think that looks good. So I'll put that there. And pretty. Oop. Use my little block and let that set for a second. Okay, now I want to bring in some fun shine. And there we go. I want to just make this super, well, not super, but subtly. I want to bring some subtle vibrancy in here. And I'm trying to find my little jewel tool. There we go. And let's just have fun bringing in some shine. So I am going to, my little sequence tray is occupied right now with some other things. So I'm just going to place this on my mat. And I'm going to just start finding the ones that I would like and placing them on my card. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this because they are so subtle, but in the backdrop, I think they're going to provide a lot of fun. So I'm going to do 2 here. And I'll link these down below. These are so fun. I believe I got these from Spellbinders. And they're kind of a holographic look. I'm going to have this one tuck a little bit under the Y. And this here. So we have 2. I'm going to do, I think 3 down here. 1. And it comes in a variety of sizes, so just kind of playing around with sizing as I go as well. Oop, there we go. Come off my tool there. I'm going to do a 3 down here, a little trio. Okay, I like that. And let's see here. Do a trio up here as well. I'm going to do another tuck. It's kind of peeking out. This size. So we'll go here. And a little small one here. Okay, then I'm going to just do 1 here, maybe a little tuck, just a subtle tuck there. And then down here I will have my final 2. 1, and we'll do medium. Whoop. Okay, I like that. I like that. That's really fun. So here is the first finished card. I love that. I love the subtle sequins, but I think they provide just a fun shine. It's just really cute and fun. I love the background. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the exact same stencil, the exact same die set, and we're going to create a completely different idea and just kind of provide some inspiration on just different ideas that you could do with these two products. And again, pick one stencil set, one die set. It does not have to be the exact same that I used, but just be able to kind of recognize and take some inspiration that you can do completely different things with the exact same set of craft supplies. Okay, so I have all of my pieces for my next project. These are going to be really, really quick. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my card base. And again, just bringing my Score Buddy in. All of these will be A2 size cards in this video. So having this scored at 4 1/4. Perfect. Okay, now for this second card, I've done a lot of the same things, right? I did 3 layers and glued them all together for my bigger U. I decided to grab the Celebrate die for this one, and I used a brighter kind of rose pink for that. Again, 3 pieces and then stacked upon each other. I did my ink blending, just like you saw earlier, but the same method. And what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to make a shaker card. So I have this shaker panel. I've done videos on how to use this. It is so fun. And I've been doing a lot of shaker cards with these full-size panels. I think they're really, really neat. So really quickly, I'm just going to grab my tweezers. Is it this side? I think so. Yes. There's a protective film on here. And I'm just going to, there we go, remove it so that it reveals that nice, shiny, pretty layer. Then I'm going to turn it around so that it's on the red 3M side, and I'm going to start pre-folding my sides. Okay. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And then I'm going to take my panel that I made with my stencils, and I'm going to place it inside. Makes shaker cards so easy. And then one by one, I'm going to remove the film off of my adhesive and fold over. And I like to turn as I go so that the side I'm folding is always closest to me, if that makes sense. There we go. And then we're going to finish off with this third side, but then leave the fourth open. So now we have kind of a little pocket, if you will, right? And then we have our whole shaker panel. It's a full-size panel right there, and we have an opening ready for our fill. So I am going to decide on my fill. Okay, I'm going to do a mix of these two. I will link them down below. And I'm just going to put a little bit, I think this one's called the peach color. I'm going to put some peach in there. Again, it's more of that warmer side of the rainbow. Ooh, that's pretty. And then I'm going to do, I think this is Aura. I'll put links down below. And, oh, that's so pretty. I'm gonna do a little bit more of the peach. Okay, and then fill as much or as little as you'd like. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that. Okay, once you have it filled to your heart's desire, then you can remove the film from the third side, or I'm sorry, the fourth side, and then just close. And then you have your shaker. How pretty is that? Oh, I love those tones. I think those really complement the background really nice and well. And I love the holographic ones because they really take on some different tones, which is really fun. Okay, I have some cleanup to do up there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my panel really quickly. And I like to use my tape runner. I have this sticky thumb tape runner, and it's my favorite for the shakers because it's very strong. So you can put a hefty panel on top of it and it's gonna really hold it. I'm gonna put a little bit more on this side. Okay. And then, in fact, I'm gonna bring this in. I'm gonna open this up. I have my adhesive. You see my adhesive right up there, but I'm gonna turn this around so I can just really line this up and place. There we go. And then I'll open this way just so I can really press down. And then we have our shaker card. How pretty. Now you can, I think, put some anti-static in here if you are bothered by the sequins that cling at the top. I love that look. I think it provides a lot of movement and fun. I like that there's some trickling up because I think it adds to the whole effect and the sparkle. But just know if that's not your thing, you could probably experiment with some anti-static powder to help with the clinging. I always skip that just because I really do like that. I kind of like the cascading look, and I like that it's not, you know, just up and down, if you will. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take some glue and I'm going to add my sentiment right to the front of the shaker. So cute. Oh my gosh, this one might turn out to be my favorite. Okay, so again, I like to start in the middle, and I'm not going to pop these up because I feel like they should just go right flush with on the shaker. I don't know. That's just me. I think that just would look really nice. And they are, you know, stacked 3 high, so we do have some dimension there. I just feel like the dimension is in the background. We don't need any additional height, if you will. Okay, I'll do the U. And then this, I did the celebrate. I thought this was kind of fun for the shaker because the shaker is just so, you know, celebratory. Of course, you could do a shaker for anything. And I think I've proven that. We can do a shaker for anything. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I liked the celebrate sentiment specifically for this. Okay, and then finally the Y. Okay. There we go, and that will just settle right on out. Might have gotten a little off center there. I could probably see how I have a little wiggle room still because that glue is still wet. I can scoot these over. Oh, much better. Okay, oops. And then we're just gonna let that really settle. How do we like alignment? Oh, I think that's really good actually. Okay, I'm glad I moved it over though. Needed to come a little bit to the left. Ooh, you're really wiggly. Okay. Now I'm going to do the celebrate. Now I think, ooh, I think this looks good right in the middle. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to bring my tweezers in. And then I will add all my glue. Okay, I have all of my glue. Again, not all of that will make contact, but I wanted to ensure that where I did have contact, there was going to be glue there. Sorry, a little moment of silence there for a second because I wanted to focus. Let me bring this little T-square in. Oh, you know what? That's pretty perfect. Okay. Press this down, and I like that. Now, I'm not going to add any additional sequins because we have the shine in the shaker. So that will be a complete card. How cute. So there is another idea. See how we have 2 completely different looks? Same colors used, or at least same tones. Again, I did bring in a brighter pink for here because I really think that that looks fun with the shaker. But you know, same colors, same blended background, but completely different look. We have a really interactive shaker, and then I love this thank you card. So pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and do a third idea. Okay, next idea, I have this really pretty background, just like always. I'm going to trim it down to an A2 size. I'm gonna bring my little mini trimmer in. And I want my final size to be the 5.5 by 4 1/4, but I wanna make sure that I trim down equally on all sides. So I'm just gonna kind of start trimming, and then we'll see. Let's here. This is going to be the 5.5. Nope, this is going to be the 4 1/4, Bethany. Okay, and then we'll do the 5.5 this way. So bring a little bit off of here. And 5.5. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to double check myself that I did. I bring it just down on my mat here. 4 1/4, 5.5. Okay, perfect. So now let me make my little card base. Oh, that looks nice. I have my cardstock for the card base. We're going to do an A2 once again. Okay. There we go. And I think this is going to be a full pan. I don't think I'm going to trim this down at all. And I think to start out, I think I'm just going to glue this to my panel. Yes, in fact, I'll do the sticky thumb just because it's so quick, strong, instantly gratifying. So we'll just do that. Bring back in the Score Buddy just for alignment. Glue is on this side. Panel. Then that way you can line up, and press down. Do I have a little bit of overhang? I might have a little bit of overhang, so I'll grab my paper trimmer. And that happens from time to time where it's just not quite perfect. But now it is. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that is now all nice and flush. So now we have our back panel just taped to our card. And then what I'm going to do is bring in the large U, and I am going to center this on this piece of cardstock. Now, actually, it's going to be this piece. This piece is the 110 pound. I really want a nice, substantial, big piece here. And first, before I actually do that though, I'm going to trim this down because I want this to be smaller than this piece. So, and just by a hair so that when I place this piece on here, we have a little bit of fun. Ooh, you know what though? I changed my mind. I'm going to go, I think I was one in. I think I'm going to go 2 in for this one. Let me see how, whoopsie. Let me see how that looks. Okay, so yeah, I like that because then I'll have a lot of surrounding area with some pattern kind of peeking in, if you will. And you will see what I mean in just a moment. So I'm going to trim down this 110 pound piece of cardstock really quickly. Let me grab my little pink tape just to secure it there. And then we're going to create more like a window card, if you will. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to do one more little cutout. So I'm going to put the U here and I'm going to center it perfectly because I'm going to do like the inverse, if you will, and use the surrounding edge. And then the letters will be what I don't use in this case. See how, well, I used, if you'll note, obviously the letters in the other card, but this time I'm going to use the background. So we're just going to inverse it. In fact, you could do this card first in your lineup and then keep you keep the letters that come off of it to save for your other cards, because then you could just be always using your scrap pieces. Okay, bringing my little cutting plate in here. Now, you can save these letters for other cards. Just like the first 2 cards we did, you could use them for that. So I'm going to set those off to the side, but I just want the middle to my O. So you come here, and I want, let's see, making sure I don't ruin my panel here. Gentle with my tape. I want this background layer. Okay. gentle. Okay, there we go. Now, put my plates away. I have my little miss. That's what I decided for this one, the little miss. And then this piece is going to go over so that we have this little pattern peeking through. So now what I want to do is I want to take foam tape and build this up just to make it really dimensional. And I think my foam tape is skinny enough for most of the areas. Might have to trim it down just a little bit. Let's see here. But we should be, oh yeah, we are good. I think, let me double check. Oh yes. I was gonna say, if not, then you might wanna go one die up on that A2 die set just to give yourself a little bit more area for your foam tape. Okay, just getting some smaller little pieces for these skinnier areas. And we should be good to go. Just like that. And nice. That way we don't have anything bowing, and that should be good. Okay, so now I'm just going to take off all of my little strips. And it will provide a really fun pop of dimension on this card to give us a little bit of shadow. Line this up. There we go. Ooh, that is fun. Okay, then I will do the middle of my O. So I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to grab, I have these skinnier foam strips from, is it Waffle Flower? I'll link them for you, but they come in handy when you have skinny little places for, you know, surface area that you want to pop up. So I'm going to do that right on the back of this middle of the O. You could leave it open if you'd like, but I like the middle to be there. And there. Ooh, very fun. I like that. Okay, and then we'll just add the this. And I think, I mean, you could play around with it again. I like this little right justified, even like a little right and lower. I think that's really pretty. Now I do have the dots to the eyes saved here, but I don't know that where it's landing on the card base is going to provide me an area for me to place those down. So that's really okay with me. If that bothers you, then you might want to just align your sentiment, the miss part, so that you have a place to put your eye. In fact, I could do it like this so that I could put the eye on that little strip. I'll try that. Okay. And, okay, so these are teeny, teeny, tiny. In fact, I did 3 layers of this, but as things do happen, I lost the 3rd little dot to my eye, and I could go searching for it, but you know, I think it's going to be not missed in this card. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so there's our little dot to the eye, and then I'll build it one more time. On top of this. Okay. Bring in my block. Okay, so there is our little Miss You with the little inverse of the die. I think that's really fun. And then let's add a little shine, because I do think this calls for just a little bit of something more. So I'm gonna still bring in, let's see, I think I'm gonna bring in, how do I like, ooh, I think this is fun. I'm trying to decide which one I want in terms of color of sequins. I'm going to try to put a couple down and see which one I like more. You know, I think I'm going to do the darker peach just because I already did the light. Kind of got some adhesive on there. Hold on. This is adhesive eraser. There we go. I just had a little residue from my tape. Oh my goodness, that was perfection. Okay, perfect, all done. Okay, so I'm gonna do the darker. I think that's pretty, and I think it kind of calls for a little, I don't know. Oh, now I have my little guy available. Okay, okay, let's see. Keep it pretty simple, but bring in some fun. Turn that around and play around with sizing. Maybe just 2 there. We have a little bit more area here, so we could play around with 3 over here. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and then maybe 1 and teeny tiny 2. I like that. I like it. So I'm going to make that the final answer and place those down. Oops, I got a little glue on my tip, which got glue on those 2. So let me replace those. Put the glue down and then I'll find some. Make sure my tip is nice and clean. There we go. Okay, so I had a large and I had a medium. There we go. Don't want to dull that shine with glue. Okay, put that off. Get myself some glue. Okay, and then final little shine. And I like it. So cute, and I really just like the additional shine. I think it's so fun. And I love the peeking pattern from the background. I think that is really, really nice. Okay, 1 stencil set, 1 die set, and 3, in my opinion, pretty different cards. Of course, they all coordinate because I used the same idea for the back panel with the stencils, but I did that so purposefully because I wanted you to see that even if you kind of do it in bulk and just do 3 panels with the same blending technique, same colors, you can still make things very, very differently. So I really like how these turned out. I think the shaker is my favorite just because it is just so bold and fun. And I don't know, a shaker card just seals my heart each and every time. So let me know which one turned out being your favorite down below. Let me know if this inspired you in any way. I hope it did. I just know that as you're starting with card making, or even if you've been doing it for a long time now, every once in a while it adds up, right? And it's so fun because companies are always coming out with new things that are just so fun and exciting. I don't know about you, but I have FOMO and I have fear of missing out, and so I add to cart a little too much sometimes. And I like the idea of, you know, being able to have fun like that and being able to say yes to new things, but also challenging myself to make those new things go further and make a lot with a little. So I hope this has inspired you to do the same in your craft room. And again, let me know which one was your favorite. And again, I have everything in the description box below in case you're inspired by any of the things that I used on my craft table today. Okay, I will see you in the next video. For now, I have a lot of cleaning up to do. Stick around if you want to watch a little cleanup because this may look nice and organized, but behind the scenes, it's a little crazy. All right, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.